Have you ever tossed a slice of cheese onto your sandwich or grabbed a block of cheddar as a snack, thinking you were making a simple, harmless choice? Most of us have. But if you're over 60, that seemingly innocent habit could quietly be increasing your risk of a stroke without you even realizing it. A 2023 study published in the Journal of the American Heart Association found that seniors who consumed certain types of processed cheese at least 3 times a week were 34.9% more likely to experience ischemic stroke compared to those who didn't. That's nearly 1 in 3. Why? Because after the age of 60, your body doesn't process sodium, saturated fat, and food additives the same way it used to. Your arteries are more fragile, your metabolism slows, and your brain becomes more vulnerable to inflammation and oxidative stress. That's why something as familiar as a cheese dip at game night or a morning bagel with cream cheese can act like a slow-burning fuse on your health. But here's the good news. Not all cheeses are harmful. In fact, some can actively support your memory, joint flexibility, gut health, and even bone strength if you choose the right ones. In the next few minutes, we're going to expose the 4 cheeses that may be quietly hurting your heart and brain and reveal 4 better choices that could reduce your inflammation and improve your vitality. What you'll learn today may help you protect your independence and even extend your healthy years. If this resonates with you already, type 1 in the comments so we know you're here and ready. Let's dive in! Hi, I'm Diane, and I'm honored to be your guide today on this journey towards smarter, safer eating after 60. For over 20 years, I've worked with older adults from retired nurses in North Carolina to Vietnam veterans in Arizona, helping them make small changes that lead to big health wins. But this isn't just about science. It's personal. My Uncle Paul, a former firefighter in Tulsa, used to eat blue cheese crumbles with almost every dinner. He said it helped him unwind after a long day. But by 68, he was struggling with sudden dizzy spells and blood pressure spikes. It wasn't until we cut out the cheese and replaced it with a smoother aged Swiss that his symptoms finally calmed. I've seen firsthand how small swaps can change everything. That's why I'm so passionate about helping you sort through the confusion, the labels, and the marketing. We don't need fear. We need facts and simple steps we can actually take. Before we get to the cheeses, I'd love to know where you're tuning in from. Drop a quick hello in the comments and tell me your state. Whether you're in sunny Florida or snowy Minnesota, you're not alone in this. Let's talk about why this matters so much, especially if you're over 60. Most people think of cheese as just a tasty sidekick, a topping, a comfort food. But after age 60, the way your body processes dairy, especially cheese, changes dramatically. And what used to be harmless in your 40s can now quietly chip away at your health in ways you don't even see coming. According to the National Institutes of Health, aging adults produce less of the enzyme lactase, which helps digest dairy sugars, and also experience a natural decline in stomach acid. That means not only is digestion slower, but harmful byproducts from certain cheeses, like histamines, tyramine, and saturated fats, stay in your system longer and do more damage. The Mayo Clinic reports that saturated fats found in many processed cheeses contribute to the buildup of LDL cholesterol, the bad kind that stiffens arteries and increases the risk of stroke and heart attack. If your body were a plumbing system, think of these fats as grease gradually building up inside your pipes until one day something bursts. But it doesn't stop with the heart. According to the CDC, about 1 in 4 seniors experience some form of cognitive decline. And recent findings from JAMA Neurology suggest that diets high in processed dairy, especially those loaded with emulsifiers and artificial preservatives, can worsen neuroinflammation and speed up memory loss in aging adults. Cheese also plays a sneaky role in blood pressure regulation. Many popular varieties contain more sodium per ounce than a bag of potato chips. For older adults who tend to retain sodium more easily and excrete it more slowly, this can lead to dangerous spikes in blood pressure without any warning signs. And here's the part most people never talk about: gut health. The gut is home to trillions of bacteria that regulate immunity, mood, and inflammation. A report from the NIH's Human Microbiome Project showed that the gut microbiome diversity significantly drops after age 65. If you're regularly consuming cheeses that are heavily processed or treated with antimicrobial additives, you may be unknowingly wiping out what little healthy bacteria you have left. So, to sum it up, the wrong cheese can harm your arteries, your brain, your digestion, and even your mood. But this isn't about fear. It's about knowing better so you can do better. Take a moment. Have you noticed changes lately? Maybe more fatigue, maybe a little more forgetfulness. Maybe bloating that didn't used to happen. These aren't random. They might be symptoms of your body struggling to handle the foods it used to tolerate just fine. We're not here to take away your cheese. We're here to help you choose smarter, safer, and better for the long run. Let's go to the fridge. Right now, there may be 4 familiar cheeses sitting inside that you've eaten for years on toast, in casseroles, on movie nights without ever questioning them. But if you're over 60, these cheeses could quietly be damaging your arteries, brain, kidneys, and gut without a single symptom until it's too late. These are the dangerous 4 cheeses that may taste like comfort but come with hidden costs your aging body can no longer afford. 1. Nacho cheese sauce, the kind in jars, cans, or at stadiums. It's smooth, nostalgic, and perfect with chips. But here's what most people don't realize. Nacho cheese is one of the most sodium-packed, chemically processed foods in the dairy aisle. Just 2 tablespoons of nacho cheese contain over 430 milligrams of sodium, nearly 20% of the daily recommended intake. The CDC warns that seniors are more salt-sensitive due to declining kidney function. Excess sodium builds up in your bloodstream, raises blood pressure, and forces your heart to work harder. Even worse, this type of cheese contains sodium phosphate, a common emulsifier linked to faster arterial calcification, according to a 2023 Journal of Clinical Hypertension review. That means your blood vessels become less flexible, more brittle, raising your risk for stroke and heart attack. Take Robert from Kansas City. At 67, he was still active, enjoying nachos every Sunday. Then came dizzy spells. His cardiologist reviewed his diet and found the sodium and phosphate overload from canned nacho cheese. When Robert cut it out, his blood pressure normalized within a month. Have you eaten nacho cheese in the past 2 weeks? Type nacho in the comments, no judgment, just awareness. 2. Pre-shredded cheddar, those convenient supermarket bags. We all love saving time, but convenience often comes at a hidden price. Most shredded cheeses in stores are coated with cellulose to prevent clumping and natamycin to stop mold. While these additives are FDA approved, they can alter your gut microbiome, especially in seniors. The NIH's Human Microbiome Project showed that after age 65, the diversity of gut bacteria sharply declines. Add preservatives into the mix and you're wiping out good bacteria critical for digestion, immunity, and mental clarity. There's more. A 2021 Frontiers in Nutrition study found that ultra-processed cheeses like pre-shredded cheddar had 30% less bioavailable calcium and protein than fresh block cheese. Emily, a 74-year-old from Ohio, struggled with bloating and brain fog. A dietitian suggested switching to block cheddar and grating it herself. Within 3 weeks, she reported clearer thinking and better digestion. Check your fridge. Do you see a bag of shredded cheddar? Type the brand in the comments, and we'll help you decode the label together. 3. Unpasteurized brie and other soft-rind cheeses from markets. Creamy, elegant, and often seen as gourmet, brie can be delicious but dangerous if unpasteurized. The FDA and CDC have repeatedly warned that unpasteurized soft cheeses are high-risk carriers of Listeria monocytogenes. This bacterium causes listeriosis, a foodborne illness that can be deadly in adults over 65. In fact, 7 out of 10 listeria deaths in the U.S. occur in this age group. Unlike most bacteria, listeria thrives even in cold temperatures and spreads silently in soft cheese textures. In 2021, a small outbreak in Vermont was linked to unpasteurized brie sold at a local market. 2 seniors, both in their 70s, were hospitalized with confusion, fever, and severe weakness. One was in the ICU for 9 days. The risk is real. The solution is simple. Only buy brie that's clearly labeled made from pasteurized milk. Bought cheese from a farmer's market or specialty shop recently? Go check the label. If it doesn't say pasteurized, type unsure in the comments. We'll help you assess the risk. 4. Processed cheese spreads, the kind in foil triangles, tubs, or jars. They spread easily. They taste familiar. But they may be the worst offenders of all. Processed cheese spreads combine multiple threats: high sodium, phosphate additives, artificial preservatives, and sometimes even trans fats, despite being banned in many foods. How? Because U.S. law allows trace amounts under certain serving sizes, especially in shelf-stable dairy products. The National Kidney Foundation reports that phosphate-based additives in these spreads increase the rate of kidney aging and mineral imbalances. That's a huge concern given that 1 in 3 Americans over 60 already have reduced kidney function and may not even know it. A 2022 JAMA cardiology study found a 26% higher risk of coronary artery calcification in adults over 65 who consumed phosphate-rich processed foods more than 3 times a week. George, 71, from Missouri, used to eat cheese spread on toast every morning. His nephrologist raised a red flag when his kidney markers declined rapidly. After switching to plain Swiss cheese, his lab results began to stabilize. Do you have a jar or triangle of cheese spread at home? Pause now. Check the ingredients. If you spot phosphate or hydrogenated oil, type "found it" in the comments and we'll break it down together. These cheeses aren't evil, but they're incompatible with the way your body functions after 60. What used to be safe and satisfying might now be silently overloading your heart, draining your energy, and weakening your resilience. Now that we've exposed the dangerous 4, it's time to shift to the cheeses that can actually support your health. Yes, some cheeses can lower inflammation, improve brain clarity, strengthen your bones, and even help regulate blood sugar. Stick with me. In the next section, we'll explore the helpful 4 the cheeses that deserve a permanent place in your kitchen. After what we just uncovered, you might be wondering, is any cheese actually good for you after 60? The answer is yes. Not only are there cheeses that are safe for older adults, but some can actually improve your digestion, stabilize your blood sugar, reduce inflammation, and even protect your brain and bones. These are the cheeses that support your health from the inside out, helping you stay strong, clear-minded, and active as you age. Let's explore the 4 best choices. The first is part skim ricotta. Light, creamy, and mild in flavor, ricotta may be one of the most underrated cheeses when it comes to senior health. It is made from the whey left over after producing other cheeses, which means it is rich in whey protein. This type of protein is easy to absorb and especially helpful in maintaining muscle mass, a major concern for adults over 60. A 2023 study from the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health found that older adults who incorporated 15 to 20 grams of whey protein daily maintained better physical function, reduced inflammation markers, and preserved lean muscle. Ricotta is also naturally lower in sodium and saturated fat than most cheeses, making it a heart-friendly option. It contains calcium, phosphorus, selenium, and B vitamins, all of which support strong bones and proper nerve function. You can enjoy ricotta in many ways. Try spreading it on whole grain toast, stirring it into oatmeal for extra creaminess, or adding a spoonful to roasted vegetables for a light but satisfying meal. Many people are surprised to discover how versatile it really is. The second cheese on the list is authentic aged Parmesan, specifically Parmigiano Reggiano. This is not the powdered kind in plastic shakers, but the real block that has been aged for at least 12 months. Thanks to its long fermentation process, true Parmesan is nearly lactose-free, making it gentle on the digestive system. It also packs a powerful nutritional punch, providing more than 300 milligrams of calcium per ounce, along with vitamin A, zinc, and phosphorus. What makes it even more valuable is its high concentration of tyrosine crystals. These natural amino acid clusters have been linked to improved dopamine regulation, which can help stabilize mood and cognitive function. A 2022 report from JAMA Neurology found that diets rich in tyrosine were associated with a reduced risk of mild cognitive decline in older adults. Because of its strong umami flavor, a small amount of Parmesan goes a long way. You can grate it over steamed vegetables, stir it into lentil soups, or shave it onto salads to add depth and nutrition. It satisfies without overwhelming, and it gives you more than just taste. It supports brain and bone health in every bite. Next is low-sodium cottage cheese. Often overlooked or misunderstood, cottage cheese is one of the most protein-dense and low-calorie cheeses available. Just 1 cup provides over 25 grams of protein, which is vital for preventing sarcopenia, the muscle loss that naturally occurs with age. It also contains casein, a slow-digesting protein that helps regulate blood sugar throughout the night. In a 2021 study funded by the National Institutes of Health, seniors who ate cottage cheese before bed experienced more stable glucose levels overnight compared to those who snacked on carbohydrates. The key is to choose a version without added salt or sugar. Many cottage cheese products include fruit syrups or flavorings that raise blood sugar and dilute the benefits. Look for plain low-sodium versions. You can enjoy it mixed with cinnamon and chia seeds, paired with fresh cucumber and black pepper, or even stirred into scrambled eggs for extra creaminess and protein. Finally, we come to goat cheese, also known as chèvre. Soft, tangy, and creamy goat cheese is more than a gourmet spread. It is one of the most gut-friendly and anti-inflammatory cheeses available to older adults. Goat cheese contains medium-chain fatty acids, which are easier for the liver to metabolize than long-chain fats. That makes it a more efficient energy source and less likely to contribute to fat storage. Goat cheese is also lower in lactose and casein compared to cow's milk cheese, which makes it easier to digest and less likely to cause bloating or discomfort. A 2023 meta-analysis conducted by the National Institutes of Health found that diets including fermented goat cheese were linked to better cognitive resilience and reduced inflammation in adults over 65. These benefits stem from a combination of probiotics, omega-3 fatty acids, and a highly bioavailable form of vitamin A. It is also rich in selenium and zinc, two trace minerals essential for immune support, wound healing, and thyroid balance. You can crumble goat cheese into a salad, spread it on whole grain crackers, or stir it into a quinoa bowl. It adds richness and nutrients without the weight of heavy dairy. Together, these four cheeses do more than satisfy your cravings. They help protect what matters most: your energy, your memory, your mobility, and your independence. They are flavorful tools in your nutritional toolbox. By making just one or two swaps each week, replacing processed spreads with ricotta, or choosing goat cheese instead of cream cheese, you can take simple, delicious steps towards stronger aging. Because at this stage in life, every bite should support your body, not sabotage it. In the next part of our journey, you will hear directly from real seniors across the country who made these changes and felt the difference. Their stories will remind you that it is never too late to improve how you feel, one smart choice at a time. Let's move from facts to real life. Because while science matters, it's often the stories that convince us change is possible. Meet Mark, a 69-year-old retired postal worker from Sacramento, California. For most of his adult life, cheese was a comfort food. He started every morning with toast and processed cheese spread, and often snacked on shredded cheddar in the afternoon. But over time, Mark began noticing things he couldn't ignore: sluggishness after meals, frequent joint stiffness, and rising blood pressure. He blamed it on aging, until his daughter, a nurse practitioner, suggested he try swapping his usual cheese for ricotta and parmesan. At first, he was skeptical, but within just 3 weeks, Mark saw the difference. His blood pressure readings dropped from 146/92 to a steady 130/84. He said he felt lighter, less bloated, and surprisingly more mentally sharp in the morning. Then there's Sandra, a 72-year-old retired librarian living in Burlington, Vermont. Sandra loved brie. She served it at every book club, and it became her go-to evening snack. But after a bout of listeria-related illness sent her to urgent care, she learned her favorite brie had been unpasteurized. Her doctor urged her to avoid soft cheeses altogether, but Sandra didn't want to give up the ritual. That's when she discovered goat cheese. It gave her the same creamy satisfaction, but without the digestive distress. Since switching, Sandra's energy has improved, and she hasn't had a single gastrointestinal flare-up. And finally, meet Harold from Tulsa, Oklahoma, an 80-year-old veteran and jazz enthusiast. Harold had always avoided cottage cheese, thinking it was bland and boring. But after reading about its protein and blood sugar benefits, he gave it a shot. Now, every night before bed, he eats half a cup with cinnamon and walnuts. He says he sleeps more soundly, wakes up with less stiffness, and no longer gets the 3 a.m. blood sugar crash that used to jolt him awake. "It's the smallest change I've made," Harold said, "but it gave me back something I didn't know I lost: restful sleep." These are not isolated cases. Across the country, older adults are making simple swaps, one cheese at a time, and seeing real benefits. It is not about perfection. It is about curiosity, consistency, and giving your body what it needs, one meal at a time. What about you? Has there been a cheese you gave up and felt better afterward? Or maybe one you added that made a difference? If so, you are not alone. Before you head to the grocery store with a new cheese list in hand, there's one more important step. Not every healthy cheese is right for every person, especially if you are managing specific health conditions or taking daily medications. Let's start with a question. Are you currently taking any of the following? Blood pressure medications such as ACE inhibitors or calcium channel blockers, statins for cholesterol, blood thinners like warfarin, diuretics, commonly known as water pills, medications for kidney function or diabetes. If the answer is yes to any of these, your cheese choices matter even more. For example, if you are on blood thinners like warfarin, be cautious with cheeses that are very high in vitamin K2, such as aged Swiss and Gouda. While K2 is excellent for bone health, it can interfere with how your medication works. You do not need to avoid these cheeses completely, but portion control and consistency are key. Talk to your doctor before making major changes. If you take diuretics for high blood pressure or heart failure, you may already be losing potassium and calcium through urine. In this case, choosing cheeses rich in calcium and lower in sodium like ricotta or cottage cheese can help restore balance without further straining your system. Those with kidney issues, especially stages 2 or higher, should avoid cheeses with added phosphates. Processed cheese spreads, American cheese slices, and canned nacho cheese often contain phosphorus-based additives that are harder for aging kidneys to eliminate. Instead, opt for fresh cheeses with simple ingredients like goat cheese or soft mozzarella. If you are managing type 2 diabetes, beware of flavored cheeses or those paired with sugary fruits. Some cottage cheese brands, for instance, add pineapple syrup or honey, which can spike blood sugar unexpectedly. Choose plain versions and add your own fiber-rich toppings like chia, flaxseed, or cinnamon. And if you're on statins for cholesterol, stay mindful of saturated fat. While full-fat cheeses like brie and cheddar taste great, they can work against your treatment goals. Part-skim ricotta, feta in brine, and aged parmesan in small amounts are more aligned with heart-healthy eating. The goal here is not to create fear. It is to create awareness so you can eat with confidence, knowing that what you're putting on your plate supports both your condition and your well-being. Still unsure? Make a short list of your current medications and bring it to your next doctor's visit. Ask which types of cheese are best for you and which ones you might want to limit. There is no one-size-fits-all answer. But with the right adjustments, cheese can remain a flavorful and healthy part of your life. Let's take a moment to recap what we've learned today. If you're over 60, your relationship with cheese isn't just about taste, it's about strategy. We uncovered 4 cheeses that quietly work against your health. Nacho cheese sauce with its sky-high sodium and additives, pre-shredded cheddar that disrupts gut health, unpasteurized brie that poses a hidden bacterial risk, and processed cheese spreads that strain the kidneys and harden arteries. But we didn't stop there. We also discovered 4 powerful allies in your fridge cheeses that can work with your body. Part-skim ricotta for its muscle-supporting whey protein, aged parmesan for brain and bone health, low-sodium cottage cheese to stabilize blood sugar and build strength, and goat cheese for better digestion and reduced inflammation. You've heard the science. You've met the real people who made small changes and felt real results. Now it's your turn. Think about this. What's one cheese in your fridge you could replace this week? What's one new option you'd be willing to try? It doesn't take perfection. Just curiosity and one swap at a time. If this video helped clarify anything for you, or even just made you think differently about what's on your plate, then it has done its job. Share your thoughts below. What was your biggest takeaway? Which cheese are you most excited to try or say goodbye to? And we're just getting started. Next video, we'll dive into something just as surprising, 3 teas many seniors drink daily that may be quietly locking up your joints. And the one warm drink that could help ease stiffness in just 7 days. So if you haven't already, be sure to follow our channel, because your next small step might lead to a big difference, and we're here to take it with you.